Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the King and Me show. I'm one half of this thing, King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
Here at the King and Me show, we are attempting to offer a real outlook on a healthy relationship. Real being relatable,
Entertaining
accountable,
and loving.
pause.
Why you say attempting?
Because I'm about to go in right now.
Okay.
All right, look, I'm going to say this from the very beginning. Michelle and I are sharing our real lives online. It's also my opinion that we're being as open and transparent about the topics and things that we're talking about. It's also my belief that there are things that can be learned and valued that can be given on these online spaces, right? I like to look at it as a little bit of edutainment, educating, as well as providing a little bit of laughter and entertainment along the way. If you don't think that you can get any value from watching a live stream online, go somewhere else. Period. Go somewhere else. We don't want you here. I want to make that known early and right now. Today's live stream is going to be about why are people having trouble out there on the dating marketplace. And we're going to have three actual people come on and share their stories and their experiences in hopes of not trying to fully diagnose what's wrong in the dating marketplace, but that maybe them sharing their stories can have somebody else go, man, so it's not just me. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm seeing this too. I'm in Canada, and this is happening over here. I'm in Japan, and this is what's going on over here. I think that people don't realize that the world's a lot more connected than what they think.
Yeah.
And it's not just them experiencing things in their town or in their area. And we just hope to showcase that. Look, if you want to continue being in a toxic relationship, have at it. Have at it. I know I don't want to be in one.
Same.
So I wanted to get that up front, out the way. Today's live stream is going to be a little bit different, but it's something that I hope that we can continue to do. It's the last Monday of the month. We'll be flipping this thing over next Monday.
Oh man, time has flown.
And maybe we can make this a monthly thing where the last Monday of the month is a call-in show and we have real people talking about their real experiences, not the BS that you see out here on Singles on Kendra G's show. And I'm gonna say something about that real quick too. Kendra has a lot of people call in. A good bit of people need help. First of all, I'm not a therapist. I'm not diagnosing people, but I can open up my eyes and look at them and go, they need help. They should not be out here trying to be in relationships until they get help. A good bit of people, I think, are trolling, going online for clout. And I think that there's a group of people that are actually trying to find someone to be in a relationship with, whether that's a monogamous relationship or more. Because I'm not going to knock anybody's way of living and what works for them. I can tell you that Michelle and I's agreement is to be in a monogamous relationship. And if I violate that and I want something different, I know that's not what she wants, and that the relationship will be done. And vice versa. If she were to change her mind and say, King, yeah, I'm going to need an additional person in this relationship, I'm going to go, that's not what we agreed on, and I'm out. All right? You know what? That's it. How you doing?
I really want to know like where this came from. Like what happened?
Just conversations over the weekend. One very out there content creator talked about how these online spaces aren't real. And then when I challenged him on it, he said that, well, I meant more in that it's not tactile, meaning that the people that are putting these comments and stuff like aren't real people to me. And I'm kind of paraphrasing. That's my interpretation of it.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, for example, Tarika, who's watching right now, who said, "Hey, Queen, how you doing?" is a real person.
Yeah.
We've never met, yet the people that I have these conversations with, if y'all are in my area or I'm in your area, I'd love to go out and share a meal with you, right? Because you're a real person. You're taking your time, which you could have been doing anything else, but you're here. And I'm appreciative of that.
Mm-hmm.
These online spaces are real to me. If you choose to be a character, if you choose to not be honest, open, and transparent, shout out to the Real Precious, then that's a choice that you're making, but we can see that. I've been doing this long enough that I can see a character, and even in person, I can see somebody's representative to know that they're not being hot, so I don't want to deal with them. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And the people that were coming on, the very first person that's going to come on actually said something this past weekend to where she said she's dating.
Mm-hmm.
But what she's finding, actually, I'm not going to spoil what she said. I'm going to talk about that when she comes on. So our first guest is going to come on at about 7:15, and we're going to have a conversation, all right? I want to give a shout out to Rosalind Brown that gave 3 heart signs. Hey, I hope I said your name right. And thank you, Rosalind.
Sometimes it can be Rosalind.
Rosalind.
Yeah. Depends.
I hope I said your name right. If not, please correct me so I can get you the next time. Tariq also put on the comment section where you need to come to Atlanta, you and Queen. Hey, a trip is being not really planned, but it's there. It's on the sequence of things that we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, because funny enough, we'll be not really passing through Atlanta, but Atlanta adjacent here in a couple of weeks. And if we had the time and opportunity, we would love to stop down there, Tarika, and holler at you. But we're not going to be able to have the time this time around. But absolutely. So with that being said, are we going to have time for Let's Get Deep? We shall. Let's get deep. We're not going to have the pictures come up on the screen the way that we normally do. But we have these. I think these are valuable ways of asking questions to figure out how somebody thinks about something. And we got tested by that kind of recently.
Okay.
Can we talk about it a bit?
Now?
Not now. Let's get through the questions and then we'll talk about why doing things like this is important. So you started with a deep question.
I did. I skipped the icebreaker.
Okay.
So deep. When you were a kid, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
A football player. I love the sport of football since I was introduced to it around 11 years old. So I wanted that glory of being Barry Sanders and being a football player. How about you?
A pediatric neurosurgeon like Dr. Benjamin Carson.
I can respect that.
Except I couldn't spell pediatrician, couldn't spell neuro, couldn't spell surgeon. And yeah, now I've passed that. And there was also the whole me and blood. There was that. But that's what I wanted to be.
Tarika wanted to be a bank manager.
Ooh, nice.
Wait, how much of a nerd were you for real?
I was a whole nerd. Like a whole 100%, 1000% nerd. Okay. I just couldn't spell. That hasn't changed though.
Okay. Now, so is this a deeper or okay, deeper. Cool.
What's something you're glad is in the past and why?
What's something I'm glad is in the past? Survival school. Training for the Air Force had me go through land survival school. That whole experience, while I was grateful for it because it taught me that I can do it, I can be resilient, right? It's supposed to simulate the idea of being captured like a POW. And while it is nowhere near what an actual POW goes through, the simulated experience itself is more than what the average person will have to deal with. So to go through that, know that I can do it. Thankful that I did it. Glad it's in the past. Will never do that again. How about you?
These relationships, Facebook, I'm going to need you to stop showing me things from the past. I'm good. I lived it. I don't need you to, like, as smart as Meta is nowadays, you think it'd be able to tell, oh, wait a minute. she's posting pictures with this person. Maybe I need not come into her memories and show her pictures from years ago. No, boo, I'm good. So I'm glad those relationships are in the past.
Okay. Now our first guest is on, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her up. This person, I don't. Have you had a chance to meet Ariel?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've met Ariel through Toastmasters. She is a. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna let her tell you
Now,
what she
granted, I'm
is.
flighty in my Toastmasters. I think I done been to one meeting all of 2024. Wait, I have only been to one meeting in 2024, and we at May. Jesus, go ahead.
So I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and we're gonna talk about something that she brought up during a meeting, a networking event that I had with her over the weekend, and just kind of let the conversation go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, Ariel, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you
Yes,
also
we
hear it too?
can.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
perfect.
yes.
Cool. So we're doing something a little bit different. So I'm glad that this is working out. First of all, thank you for joining. Um, we're going to start with this. Tell the people out there a little bit about who you are, what is it that you do professionally, and then we're going to go into why I invited you onto our live stream tonight.
Okay. So I'm Ariel Jordan. I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor. I'm an author. I'm a counselor educator and a Army vet. So that's a little bit about who I am. What else did you want to know?
Uh, that's it. Actually,
That's it.
that's a
Okay.
good um, intro for who you are. And I'm going to set this up by talking about something that you said during our networking event this past weekend. You
Okay.
were you were talking about dating, and you got into the idea of you don't understand why it's so difficult for adults to not be honest
Mm,
initially when approaching somebody and quote unquote dating, and that it sounds as though you're finding it difficult to meet people, be honest and open with them up front,
mhm.
and try to proceed in going through and having a relationship. So tell us what you're seeing out there, and what is it that, in your opinion, you think is causing it?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it came up organically, and then we just started discussing it, and the way you summarized it is perfect. So I think that for me, I'm a very authentic person. So pretty much what you see is what you get. And I think I expect everyone else to be like that too. And sometimes
Mm,
that's disappointing because it's not true. And so in the dating world, what I come across sometimes is that people are not authentic. They're not fully themselves. And I think that creates a challenge for someone like me who is. And is like you can see me today, you can see me Friday, you can see me next month. I'm still the same. So I think that is a little bit challenging, when it goes to like I show up the same all the time. And we have our different moods or whatever. But as for like genuinely to the core, I am this person that you see right in front of you. So I think that creates challenges. And then you asked me what my opinion is, and I have a lot of different opinions, but I'll give
come
you.
on with it.
So I'll start with the first one. Fear of vulnerability, right? Like how many people have a problem with vulnerability, right? And so I think we tend to, or I won't even say just men, right? Because women do it too,
Okay.
but hiding their emotions and their vulnerabilities, I think that prevents us from being open and honest. It could be seen as a risk, to have that emotional exposure. And not only that, but it's a risk that I get rejected. So I think
Mm,
that's part of it. Um, could be like societal norms. There's pressure for men to portray themselves in a certain way, leading them to like embellish or like hide aspects of their personality. And then also I was thinking past experiences too. Like they had a negative past experience in relationships. And so now I'm going to be less honest and I'm going to have this protective measure to avoid being hurt again. So that's that. I mean, dating apps, there's so much quality, I mean, not quality, quantity out there. So if I don't like you, I'm gonna swipe left and hit the block button and go on to this next one over here because she's cute, and so that's kind of hard. And then also avoiding conflict, right? Because then we have the ghosting that happens. Like, I don't want to
Mm.
tell you that I don't want to tell you that we don't vibe together. So I'm gonna just ghost you. You'll just never hear from me again. And that's also confusing because we don't know the reason. So you might think it's you. So those are my theories. Um I'd like to hear what you all have to think about to say about that.
Well, for me, I guess I'll get started. Hey, how are you? First of all, let me say good evening
Hey.
because I know you haven't seen me in a while because it's been a little minute since I've been at a Toastmasters meeting. But I
Same
digress.
here. Yeah, same here. I've been a little bit. I've been busy. That's all.
It's okay. We get it. We get it. My first question for you is, what does authenticity look like to you? What does that look like to you?
Yeah. So for me, I think it's just being who you are truly, right? If I'm So as a therapist, I hold a lot of my personality back in pertaining to like my personal experiences. But if they will help the next person, I'll bring them in and say, hey, so I can remember this one time in my life that this happened, and I can share my personal experiences as a way of connecting, rather than like if they feel like shame about it, I can say, oh shoot, that's actually 10 people I worked with last week did the same thing, and I can kind of normalize that for them. But
Hmm.
I think that, sorry, I got tried. I went on,
You good?
I went off on a tangent here, but no, authenticity, it really is just being who you are in every setting, I think. And I really just don't hold back. It's not confusing when you see me. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know who she is. And even if I'm having a bad day, it's still not confusing who I am to my core. Like those core values and those morals don't change.
So, what are you seeing in the dating world as you're dating? I know you said that you aren't seeing a lot of authenticity. You're not seeing people coming and being their true selves. What representative are you seeing? How long are
Mm.
you seeing this representative before the real person kicks in for you to know that what you had originally seen wasn't the authentic version? If you could explain that a little bit more.
So I'm laughing because I'm like, I'll give them a week or two. But
Yeah.
but yes, I would say that I mean it's different for everybody. um and people think, oh, you're a therapist, you should see through that, but sometimes you really can't. And I
Mm.
also am a therapist because I love people and I love helping people, so that also can be a vice of mine, thinking that, oh, okay, I understand trauma, and I can give them a pass. But really, no, like you got to work on you and come to me whole, like I'm trying to come to you whole. So but I think that what I'm seeing is either somebody, because it's a delicate dance when you're dating, right? Like
Hmm.
you can't go all in either, because you don't know this person like that. So you have to kind of give a little bit, and maybe not all, like, here's everything that I've been through, and here's all the bad stuff that I do and all the ugliness. You can't do that either. Like you give a little bit, right? Oh, oh, you
So
can relate.
maybe we have the same question, but like a part of me is like, but why can't you
Why
be that
can't you?
honest? Yeah,
Yeah.
up front. So yeah, so that
Like,
is why
I
you
we were
mean
mean,
like
laughing.
yeah, like
you
I
mean like
like
day
to
one?
think I put
I mean,
like
maybe
not
not day
day one.
one, like
Okay. Okay.
two,
Like
Like two or three.
yeah.
somewhere around there. And it's only because
Mm,
we are 100% talking about our example. And I
yeah.
recognize that it may not be the same for everyone,
Yeah.
but we were very, very upfront with each other,
I love
not
that.
only from the first time we met, but
Uh-huh.
also from the first time we conversed independently. And then
Mm,
also on the first time we went out on the date. So those three first, we were
mm-hmm.
very open with each other. And when I like, we were
Mm,
we had a warm lead. So a mutual friend introduced us to one another at a game night.
Oh,
And
cool.
it was kind of one of those, he may not be looking type thing. He had told that person, I'm not trying to date. So it was very much upfront. And then
Mm-hmm.
we still met. I pursued. He did give me his number. We scheduled a time to do a Google Meet. We had a Google Meet. Even on that Google Meet where it was just the two of us, he made it
Mm-hmm.
very clear that he wasn't trying to date, but
Mm-hmm.
it was something that intrigued him about me. So he still wanted to go out. We went out and he made it clear, like, we had what was supposed to be like just a one-off
Mm-hmm.
of us going to an arcade. He even said it at the arcade. Like, he was very explicit throughout this entire time. There was
Mm-hmm.
never a time where it's like, oh, I have to guess what he's thinking. He was very
Mm-hmm.
much authentic, very much who he is, but he was also upfront.
Yeah.
And along those times, like, we were able to kind of break down barriers. And there, I went through childhood trauma. I am still, like, to this day,
Mm-hmm.
I still have PTSD. I'm still going through many things. And I was very much upfront with him with that,
Mm-hmm.
even before we were official and before we were dating. And there was like a 2 month span difference between that, just because I didn't need him to wonder. I didn't want him to have to worry. Like, I wanted
Right.
to lay all of my cards bare. So I think that is where we're coming from when we say,
Mm-hmm.
well, why can't you be that authentic, that open and honest,
Yeah.
um right out the gates?
And
Yeah.
and and let me be clear.
Mm-hmm.
I got to this point after doing work myself because I was a
Right.
man that was lying to women to only give a little bit up to try to gain a lot more from them. Right? I
Right.
recognize the wrongness in that. That's on me.
Mm-hmm.
And got to where as I got to a place that I was accepting of all my flaws, who I am as a person, and things like that, it was easy for me to just go, "This is me. Either you like me for me, or you choose not to rock with me. But that's okay. You can go that way." Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
cut myself.
I noticed that earlier and I had questions.
So
I
I
like
see
that
that
though.
there's a book right there next to you.
Yeah, right there
Now,
in the corner.
Now
Right there.
your story,
Yes.
if you're okay talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
your story isn't one of, oh, you've gotten to the age that you are now and you're out here looking. If you're okay talking about it, what led you to be someone that's in the dating market right now?
Oh, okay. So I'm open. We can
Awesome.
talk about it. First, let me say I love y'all's story. I think that that's very beautiful, and that's another thing that came to mind as you were talking. The clear relationship goals, like you were honest from the beginning. That's not what I'm looking for, but something about you intrigues me, and then like that grew into something beautiful. However, not everybody's that honest in the beginning, and I think that's what bothers me. Like I can't, like, some people will say I'm looking for a long-term relationship, and so like you'll have it in your head, okay, we're getting to know each other to see if we fit long term, but really they looking for a one night stand or whatever. And then it's like, wait, what? So just say that, because there are people who are willing to do that. And I
Hmm.
talked to a guy and a couple days ago, and he said, well, maybe they want you. And I'm like, that's not fair though, because then you're taking my choice away. Because I don't want that. I want a long term,
Bingo.
and I'm telling you that from the beginning. So that's that. But to my story, what led me there? Yeah, so my book, I wrote my book last year, and I've been writing since 2014, and I finally put it out there. But my book is about thriving after loss. And so I talk about how I went through the loss of my daughter when she was almost 2 years old. She had a congenital heart disease. And I was married during that time. And there was the back and forth, like, okay, well, we have a conflict. Well, I'm going to leave. And then, but I'm going to leave and not communicate. So I don't know where you're at. You're not answering the phone. and you're not coming back till you feel like coming back. Like that's hard when we have a terminally ill child. So that wore on our marriage. And then when she passed away, I was by myself because it happened to be one of those times of like, I'm gonna just leave. So obviously that's really hard because again, it was just me. And so it hurt my heart. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna go through all of this by myself, I might as well be by myself.
Mm.
And so we had that conversation. We actually tried again after that, after she passed away, because it was just like nobody knows our daughter like we do. Like we have this thing in common and let's just try to make it work. We were 21 when we had her, and we were 24, 25 when we got divorced. So, we knew each other a while. And then before that, we were in college together and dated, did like the cute dating, playing spades, partners and stuff like that. Like it was good, and until it wasn't. And so there's a lot of resentment for me on my part, and I had to heal from that. And also, 3 months after I lost my daughter, my dad passed away with lung cancer from Agent Orange. So I got a text message when my dad passed away, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, that's unacceptable. You could have at least called to see how I'm doing, but I don't know what his reasons were or whatever, why he didn't. It could be, I know it's going to be a negative interaction, so I did, it could be that, I don't know, but it really solidified things for me. And I was just like, okay, yep, I'm still by myself in this thing. And then watching, like, I being with my daughter in her last moments, being with my father in his last moments, and nothing else is worse than that. I'm just done. So then there was a period of time where it was just darkness, and I'm trying to figure out how to climb up out of it. And eventually there was a turning point for me where I went back to school, and that's where I majored in psychology because I didn't want to do the business thing anymore. So I was like, I'm gonna get my degree in psychology. I'm gonna understand how the brain works. And then I kept growing from there. And there was another man that came into my life that I thought was the one, and I want to settle down. I want my person, right? And after all so much loss, I think that's what opened the door for him. And then it ended up being a domestic violence relationship. So it was like, well, dang, now I done this twice, and it didn't work out. But I had to leave the second time because I was scared. Like it was safety reasons. So I had to figure that out and start over. And so when I did, it gave me the strength to get back up. But at the same time, like, what is happening here? So then I had to
Mm.
do that work on me, like what's and so now I can look back and understand what was happening during that period. And so, like, that's what I mean about coming to somebody whole. Like you
Mhm.
all the stuff that you went through, you have to figure out, how did you no, I didn't ask to be in a domestic violence relationship, but I did recognize it, the damage that was done, and then decided, okay, what role did I play with my boundaries, right? Like, how did he even get in that space? And then I realized it. And that's, so I worked on that. And I think now I'm just realizing, like, okay, well, I done been through a lot. I'm not trying to go backwards or anything like that. So for me, I'm like, okay, let me get this thing right. Let me slow it down. Let me really put myself out there in an authentic way. And then the frustration comes when I don't get that authenticness back. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why
Mm-hmm.
I made that comment.
No, that makes total sense. So first, I just want to say, Ariel, I am so sorry for your loss. I
Thank you.
cannot imagine what it is like to lose a child and to only have 2 years. That's it's never enough. So my
Right.
heart truly goes out to you,
Thank you.
as you continue, as I'm sure, to process that loss every single day. I saw a post that you shared on
Hmm.
Facebook yesterday. Speaking of Facebook memories, so
Hmm.
well, maybe not yesterday, but recently.
Hmm.
So again, I am so sorry for your loss, and then to experience that, and then go into another season of loss. Um, kind of, we talk about that sandwich generation, and you were right there in that sandwich. You lost your child, and then right after that, you lost your father. So I sincerely, my heart goes out to you. And as I listen to everything that you're saying, there's something that you said that stands out to me um, greatly, and it's that you had to work through your stuff. And I think we are at a point in society where my ish don't stink. And because it don't stink, there's nothing for me to fix, right? Like if I don't know that I smell, then I don't know that I need to do something. If I don't believe that there is something wrong with me, then there's nothing wrong. There's nothing for me to fix. And I think that that's where we are sometimes in the dating world, that people, and I'm not saying any one gender over the other, but I'm saying that people don't do people don't believe that there's anything wrong with them. And because there's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing that I need to fix. There's nothing that I need to work on. When in reality, we're all trying to face something here.
Right. Exactly.
My trauma was not your trauma, but we both have trauma. Our trauma is not the same as King's trauma, but we both have trauma. Like, you can't expect people, like, I'm looking at two people who served our country. First, thank you for your service. I'm looking at two people who served our country, and y'all didn't serve our country the exact same way. Y'all don't have the exact same amount of experience in what you did. And I think it's very unfair to just assume that no one has anything that they're healing from. We're all healing from something, and it's very different, and we need to be cognizant of that, but also acknowledge the fact that we all got something we can heal from. We all have something
I think so.
we can heal from.
I think
we need
so
to,
too.
that is the level of authenticity that we need to bring into dating. Bring in that fact that we all have something we need to heal from.
We have our next guest. Was there anything that you wanted to add that may have came to your mind that you'd like to say before we bring our next person up?
Well, I was just thinking about my event Saturday. Like, I'm like, we talked about self-awareness. We talked about some of those twisted ways of thinking and how we all do it and need to recognize it to fix it. So I think that was it right there. Let's be self-aware and let's work on ourselves and know that the work is never finished.
Man, easier said than done. But I wish people did it.
Me too.
I wish people did it.
But see, there's another A that has to come into that. It's not just about authenticity. It's about accountability. And unfortunately, accountability, as a teacher, I can tell you, it's not something we're teaching in school. We're kind of leaving out that accountability. What I'm going through is because of X, Y, and Z. Like, let me continue to blame someone else, something else, instead of being accountable, holding myself accountable, holding others accountable. And that's kind of where we are right now with time. So you said something. You done said something.
Rock on. All right. I'm going to bring up my man, Steven. Steven is in the building. What's up, brother?
Oh no.
You
wait,
still on mute?
Hear you.
Nope. Still can't hear you.
That's what I thought was going to happen to me, Steven.
Look, and I know Steven got something to say. I know he got some good stuff over there. He got that Juneteenth flag in the background. You can tell he about to drop some knowledge on us right quick.
I love that.
That is a real nice flag, though. Like,
man, yep. Well, while he's fixing his audio,
work on it. We'll still be here.
Ariel, I am curious, what methods are you using? Like, is it one particular thing? Are you on the apps? Are you looking at, events and things?
So I not really events, but I downloaded apps, but I've deleted them now. And so what I'll see sometimes, like when I'm swiping, it'll be like, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm not swiping right on you because you don't even know why you're here. So you ain't about to waste my time.
No doubt.
But I think meeting somebody organically would be nice. But I'm just I'm just taking a break, I guess is what you could call it. And because whenever I get that energy of I don't know why I'm here, mm-mm, I'm good. If I get like that, I'm gonna get off because
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. I'm take a break. And so Facebook dating has been like interesting to kind of play with a little bit. Um, but that's really it. Like now I just network and work on my business because he gonna find me. He gonna be like, she's great.
That's what's up. I like it. Steven, you fixed it yet? Dang. Maybe leave and come
Nope.
back. He just
No, we
asked if we
still
can
can't
hear.
hear
Nope.
you. Mm-mm.
Still can't hear you. Check which setting your microphone in the settings on Restream.
I mean, my lip reading skills have come up. Oh, he can't hear us.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
No,
you
he
can hear.
said
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
He said
you
he
can
can hear
hear us.
us.
Okay, yeah, my lip
yeah.
reading
Dang.
skills, they're improving as I continue to take ASL. So like I can see what you're saying, but I don't think everyone else can.
Yeah, I had to click the settings and the mic and like make sure the mic was on my headphones because I have Beats in too.
Mm.
And then if that doesn't work as well, check if you're on a laptop. Are you phone or laptop?
Use
Laptop.
laptop.
Okay. So check the settings inside of Restream and then the settings on
On
your
your computer.
laptop to see what source is showing. And we'll go from there. So while he fixed that, Ariel, man, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat again.
Oh, oh my goodness, Steven, come hurry up now.
um, I was on the apps a little bit after my divorce,
Hmm.
and I had mixed success with it.
Hmm.
What's the most common thing that you're seeing out there among people that you're meeting that causes you to go, "Yep, don't want to be a part of this"?
Um, I think for me, no drive. Like I've never left the town that I live in, and I'm cool with that. And oh, I see you be doing big things. Oh, you must make a lot of money.
Oh my
And
gosh, I
like,
hate that.
wait, hold on. Like, hold on. And I have a picture. Like my pictures are outside because I want you to know that I'm outgoing. I'm not just
Hmm.
come and sit on your couch. Like I don't want to do that. So I have like strategically thought about my profile. I'm very analytical as a person. So I strategically did that, but I'll get the okay because I'm on an elephant because I went to an elephant sanctuary when I was in Bali and I got to like get on the elephant and it was just so cool. So I'm proud of that photo, but that photo is like, oh, I'm out of your league, but yet you're still talking to me. So you've already decided that you're not. And so like I have to deal with that for me personally. I have to deal with that. And it's like I already know that that's a red flag if you're already disqualifying yourself and I haven't even got to know you. So that's common. I encounter that a lot. Like, oh, okay, you
Hmm.
must be you bougie or whatever. And I'm like, what? I'm the most down to earth person.
I don't get why men do
I
that.
don't get it either
That
because that
it's
was a conversation.
insecurities.
It was a conversation we had a couple of episodes ago because I talked about the fact that I have had men that I've dated say that they thought that I was too good for them, and for
Mm-hmm.
no other reason. Like I'm not. I'm saying this jokingly. On the one
Mm-hmm.
hand, I can see someone seeing a trip to Bali and being like, "You out of my league." Yeah, I probably am because I have a passport and you most likely don't. So on the one hand, I can kind of get that just a smidgen. But
Yeah.
people will see that I have a degree. Never
Mm-hmm.
mind how many I have, but people will see that I have one degree and be like, "Oh, you're out of my league," because I have a degree. You mean the
Yes.
thing that the government told us 20 years ago that we needed, and I'm still trying to pay them back for? Like that's
Okay.
something that
But
makes you
you
think that.
but it's true though, right? Because if you say that I'm out of your league because I have a degree, then I am like automatically, right? Because
Yes.
Yeah,
you're
no,
with
I
Yes.
mean 100% true.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, I'm just like that blows my mind that
me.
you think so lowly of yourself
Yeah.
that you will let something that you can obtain too make you think that I'm out of your league.
Hmm.
Why? So
Or
like
even the
person,
service,
why do
right?
you just
Like
Yeah.
even the service, we all had a recruiting station where we live. Like, don't that says that's how you got ahead in life. Well, you don't know what my life was like before that, but also it was open to you too.
Yep. It speaking to insecurities in men, listen up. Drop those. I'm not gonna call them stupid insecurities. Well, work on them, right? Figure out why you have them. I had two people that know me that when they realized that Michelle's a tall person, was like, it don't bother you that she's taller than you. I'm like, no,
No.
why? I dated somebody that was like almost 6'2". Doesn't bother me at all. The whole height thing isn't a thing for me. Do you like me? Yes, no, maybe. And we go from there. If it's yes and I like you, cool. Let's rock together. All right. I just it people's insecurities are they bug me. They're kind of interesting. Steven is back. Let's see if he got it fixed. Yo,
Do we have audio?
Hey, we couldn't
yeah.
agree.
My man. So
Hey.
Steven, I know from football, solid brother, still coming up to the NBA Hall of Fame, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, you know it. Listen, I had to get it all planned out and mapped out. I'm out there. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good deal, good deal. Now, I've asked you this question before, but this is a different scene. So let's just go right into it. Are you dating right now?
I'm not.
Okay. Are you
So
not
so
dating
so so
because
let's clarify. Are you saying am I dating somebody or am I dating?
are you dating right now? And if not, are you dating somebody right now?
I'm not dating somebody right now. Am I looking to date? Yes, because I'm getting older every day. And listen, I'm only 33, but good Lord have mercy. If I show you the X-rays on my back, you'd have thought I was older. It's crazy out here.
No doubt, no doubt. Now, you and I've had some conversations in the past about just what's out there, right? So we're kind
Mhm.
of in the same region, but we don't live in the same area. Um, why? What is it that you're seeing? Are you seeing things very similar to what Ariel and I were talking, or Ariel and us were talking about earlier, and that people are showing up not being authentic?
So it's ironic because I just had a similar conversation with Kai, who you know,
Yeah.
about a somewhat similar scenario. So I don't think it's so much that people aren't necessarily showing up as authentic stuff. I think it's the kind of people that you are talking to or surrounding yourself with. Because I know a lot of people who don't show up as their authentic self. We just had a conversation about a mutual friend of ours who he said, you know, I had a good conversation with them. And I said, you got to be careful because there are people that will talk very intelligent, like they know what they're talking about until they talk to somebody who actually knows about said subject and they'll tell you they're like you're not even close to being correct. So stuff can sound good, but it might not actually have any type of depth to it. It's all surface level stuff. So I'm a firm believer of who you surround yourself with is really determine who you can actually be with, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Ariel said something earlier, and it prompted me to ask this question. Dating with intention, right? I
Hmm.
don't think it's dating if you're just out trying to have one night stands. Oh, hey man, I'm just trying to slide in, slide into
Nah,
something tonight.
nah,
So,
nah, you're
like
not you're
that's
not dating.
that's not dating,
That's
right?
not dating.
That's not dating.
Nah.
Um, so,
No.
so, so it's about being intentional, like very publicly. Michelle, I'm gonna say this very publicly.
Are you
We've
sure?
yes, we've talked about our relationship, right? And it's no secret that Michelle and I have a dating contract. It's something that we actually have a dating contract. Now, I told her early on, I said, Michelle, there are qualities and things that I love about you that if we're going to have a relationship going forward, you should know I'm not sure if I want to get married again, right?
Hmm.
Saying that up front to her. Shocker, right?
Oh my gosh.
But at least my intention of saying, hey, I would love to build a life with you. I'm not scared of that. But you have to accept that you might not have the title of wife. Are you okay with that? Right? But it's showing that intention. Are you
Hmm.
out there being intentional yourself about what you're looking for when
Yeah.
you're out meeting people?
So it's kind of it's kind of a catch-22 because I'm not sure. Is it Oreo or Ariel? I'm sorry. I'm going to be
It's
specific
Ariel.
on Ariel. So, like, I heard you say that you haven't left your area, and I'm kind of like the opposite. I'm trying to get up out of here because I'm from Maryland. Okay, go Ravens. Y'all know what it is. But being in this area is it's a very antiquated way of thinking. There's not a lot of progression.
Yeah.
Not job wise. Thought process wise, like it's just it's not moving in a place that some of your, and I'm not going to say just cities, just areas outside of Carlisle, PA. So
Mm,
I don't. It's again, it's a catch-22 because I don't want to get involved with somebody who would want to stay here
right.
because I'm already low key miserable
Same.
being here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't want to set myself up and say, they get attached
Yeah.
or I get attached, and then I have to sacrifice what my true desire is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Is it sacrifice or compromise?
It's
I'm gonna be
sacrifice at that point because you want
I'm
to
gonna be
go.
right.
You
I'm
want
gonna
to
be 100.
go.
percent
Yeah.
That is a sacrifice. It's
That's
100%.
Yes. No,
And I
I
think
can relate to that. Like I moved to Frederick, Maryland 2021 and I'm like
hmm
it's all right. I don't think it's my forever home though, and I always say
right,
that. Like I don't think it's my forever home.
right. And then on top of that, you kind of have to figure out, okay, I want to move. The person I'm going to be with, do they want to move, and what type of a sacrifice is it for them to move? Because if they're from this area, they got family here, kids here, whatever,
Yeah.
it's a hard ask for me to say I want you to give up all this, even if she would be willing to. It in my mind is selfish to say I want you to do, and maybe that's part of the relationship. Sometimes one partner has to be a little bit selfish. I think that's okay from time to time in mediocrity. However, to me, that is a big ask to say, hey, I don't want to be here. I know you want to stay, but you know, come with me because there's a lot that comes with that. That's a level of trust that I think takes time that has to be earned, because you're talking about financially,
Hmm.
emotionally. There's so much that comes with that. So, I'm in a I'm in a hard spot because I'm telling you, PA is not it. I'm sorry if anybody's watching that lives in PA and all over here. Man, I can't stand it here.
they got two
Every,
trash teams. Well, no, they got several trash teams. I'm right there with you. Like,
I just
go
it's
Maryland
not
for
for me,
life.
for life. Yeah, so, and plus, like my grandma lives down in North Carolina. I just found out my father. They're talking about moving down to North Carolina. I like it, but at the same time, that's a 8 hour trip. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
and I like New York. I got a lot of people up in the city. I could never live there because I'll tell you what, my one friend pays what I pay for a townhouse is what he pays for a room, and he got two roommates. I'm like, there's no way.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
it's rough. It's
that's how I
rough.
felt. That's how I felt moving to Maryland. Like I lived in Danville before I moved here, and
Hey, I know
Okay.
what Danville.
Me
Hey, me and
too.
you might be related. Let's
um,
talk afterwards.
but the cost of living is completely different. Like I had
is
a
is
three
it's
bedroom
way
home.
different.
I was so crazy, and then I started working at Walter Reed. That's why I moved here. But the culture shock. I was like, I gotta pay
Yeah,
what for a
yeah,
one bedroom, and then
right,
and then that's why I moved to Frederick because it's cheaper, and I got a house. Same thing I paid for a one bedroom.
right.
Crazy.
And that's another
Huh.
thing. The culture is very different.
Hmm.
It's. I'll tell you this. I'll put it like this. Here in Carlisle, we don't have any type of there's no soul food restaurants around here. Like
Oh
if I
man, you gotta
walk,
go.
yeah, like there's no place where you
You
can
gotta
just
there.
go. Like you know what I'm saying. You can't go to the store and get cocoa beef patties, nothing like that. Like you don't just have that type of environment. Like it's very it's plain. It's just plain. That's the best way I can describe it.
We don't do plain.
Yeah, we
I'm a
don't do
city girl.
plain.
I'm a city girl at
Mm-mm.
heart.
Well,
Moving to Frederick County was like, what? Y'all
yeah.
stores closed at what time? Y'all ain't got no clubs.
Right,
Like I moved here when I was
right.
25, single, no kids, to Frederick County, like
Mhm.
the county for families. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm sorry, where the club at? Oh, the club is in Baltimore. All right, let me go back home real quick. Oh, the club is in DC. Let me go down to DC because this, it ain't even it. And now that the club scene has come up, well, actually, then it went back under after COVID. Like, come on, this place is dry. It's drier than the Sahara Desert.
Is there one more question that you asked Steven prior to bringing up Kendra?
No, because I think it'll get interesting when we bring up Kendra.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. That sounds like a setup. Let me
It's
set
not
up
a
real
setup.
quick.
It's not a setup. I'm just dramatic.
Let me set up real quick.
I'm just
Make
dramatic.
sure.
Don't mind me. I'm just dramatic.
All right. So our third guest that we're bringing up, I know personally, she's a fantastic person. She has content that she puts online as well under Wileen Living, and bringing her up herself, Kendra. How you doing?
Hi guys, I'm well. How are you?
Hello, welcome.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome. You know what? Let's see. Do I like this like this? I think since she's gonna be the last guest of honor, I'll move her up here.
I know you could do all that. You have the
Yeah,
power.
I
That's
got
fancy.
widget.
Hold on, I gotta ask. Is that your house or is that a background?
This is my
No,
everybody's like, I don't know what type of wall aesthetic.
Yes.
Like, no, it's my home. This is my home office.
That's
a real couch. King has been in it. She can throw a quarter back there if you need her to. It's real. It's real.
Listen, you done gave me a whole complex. I know you were talking about earlier about men having complexes, King. Well, I'm telling you, I got a because I'm like, hold on, my interior designer is not interior designing. Like, wait a minute.
Designing too, so if you need someone to come and just kind of set the scene, aesthetics,
Look,
I got you.
we got to talk because man, I said, wait, is that real?
No, everything.
It really does look like that one backdrop, but no, it's real. It's real.
All right, so Kendra, the theme today's been all about, but why are we having trouble out here dating? And you and I have had some very private conversations about some things, but yet there's a solid theme that when talking with Steven, we're talking with Ariel, that is being out there, and it's that people aren't showing up authentic or stating what it is that they're looking for. And we're talking about grown individuals here. What's been your experience in the dating marketplace? Are you dating for marriage, dating for somebody to do life with? Talk to us a little bit. You have the floor.
So, like you stated, we've had numerous of conversations. I just recently decided to start dating again for April, right? And then I decided to come back inside because my brief moment outside for I think it was a week, it was really chaotic. And as I've stated before, people really say they want someone who's transparent. We're going to go 100%. What do you want? What do you don't want? What do you not want? What do you see in your future? So for me personally, I'm dating. My purpose is to get married. Again, don't come off the bat and say, we're going to get married. I will run for the hills, right? You don't know me personally. I don't know you, but it's like a progression, right? We have to be friends. You have that baseline of an understanding, then it progresses naturally. And then if it develops into a courtship relationship, that conversation needs to be had. It's not, hey, I've taken you out, you're now mine, right? A conversation needs to be discussed to say we're dating exclusively, and then from dating exclusively, we're in a relationship. And what does that look like? What are the parameters of what are we doing? What are we not doing? And then we typically go from there. I am a very vocal person when it comes to relationships because I think it's very important that people don't view specifically me as transactional. And I've had that issue where they're like, oh, if I just give her money, everything will be great. And it's like, no, I need more than just financial kind of experiences, right? I like to sit at the park. I just like to talk about nothing, or just be in someone's presence and absolutely say nothing. And, it's been very difficult that when I decided to kind of put myself back out there, that is the first thing people tend to lead with is their money. That kind of appeals to a certain type of individual. but I don't want to be looked at as that's what's going to captivate her attention. I feel in a sense that it's belittling, and it makes me feel more, as an item in which you can purchase, and I'm not at the store, right? So if
I like
Now,
that.
now, Kendra, I've had some transactional relationships in the past. I think that there's an epidemic out there that's starting to widen the gap in relationships because there are certain people that see that as a viable option, so they're okay with that. And more men are starting to kind of raise their hand and go, you know what? Like, this isn't a bad lifestyle. Like, I can do this and be okay with it. Do you think that that's also, in your opinion, are you seeing more of those men expecting something more transactional instead of actually finding something that's, real?
No, I don't think necessarily they don't want anything authentic. I think just leading with that is what turns me off. Right.
Okay.
I don't think that's a negative. If someone wants to have a transactional relationship, by all means, that's perfectly fine. But I
Right.
don't want to lead in that manner, because I don't want anyone to assume that you have to pay for me to be happy. Right. And again, that's why I always say I want to be your friend first. Right. So I need you to understand that's not how I was raised. That's not who I am. Do I like things of quality? Do I like to travel? Do I like experiences? Yes, I do. However, that'll evolve over time. But just initially saying, hey, here's X amount of dollars, it's like, I don't think I want to talk to you. Like, it kind of puts me in a mind that later they're going to have these expectations where they want me to only do, because I've been in relationships where it's like, if I'm doing XYZ, you're not doing this. And it kind of goes into like a control type of relationship. And I don't mind certain things and not doing certain things, but I just don't want to have to diminish who I am because someone is financially stable.
So I think that leads a lot into what Ariel was saying. I'm not sure if you heard it, Stephen, but one thing that we talked about was how sometimes we can be out there dating and men will feel like we're too good for them. And Kendra, what you're saying, that like they greet you with the let me buy this, let me do this. I think, personal opinion, that that's just a mask or a beard for their insecurity that they may be feeling. Like they may see you and think, oh, she must need this because you're not asking for it. She must need this, so let me do this. But in reality, I know if I don't do this, I couldn't get her. So it's kind of like a mask for their insecurity, if that makes sense in some way. I don't think it's a
So,
good thing to do, but yeah, go ahead, Stephen.
I'm going to. It could be a thing, but here's what I'm gonna say. It is that type of relationship is trending, if you know what I mean. So if you
Yeah.
look on social media,
Yeah.
a lot of the times what you'll see is that is what a lot of women are going for. You can't talk to them unless you have a certain amount of zeros in your bank account. They won't even give you the time of day.
Mm.
So we, in a sense, I would say in the last, we'll say decade, have been, I would say men have been conditioned to think if you don't meet this certain financial criteria, you're not worth talking about. I'm not even going to pay. It could be a great guy. He could just be. And I'm gonna use this as myself because I've been up and down. I'll say twice. I've hit rock bottom twice, and it sucks. But there's a lot of women there. They only see you for what is in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And they only say, "Well, you can't buy me this purse or these shoes or any, whatever." And Tarika, I see your comment. It shouldn't be about money, but
Yeah.
in this day and age, right now, there are a lot of women who are that's what comes first. And if you can't take care of them financially, then they don't want. But that also, I think, goes back to what I said earlier. Who you surround yourself with and who you choose to try to talk to is going to determine the type of outcome you get. So if those are the type of women that you're coming across, then you need to
Yeah,
go hang out.
you
You need
gotta
to go
evaluate.
hang
Yeah,
out. Yeah, evaluate what your value is, and you need to go
yeah,
hang out at a coffee shop or a library or something like that,
yeah. I
and
want to
go do
say,
something else.
I want to say that that also equates to on the side of women being hurt too, like women and men, right? Being hurt because if I'm hurt so much, what's the point? And if I'm hurt, if I'm gonna get hurt anyway, I might as well get something out of it. So
Mm.
let me, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? So like a lot of, and I think that's where the shift is coming from because life comes with hurt, right? We do go through heartbreak. It's inevitable. We're going to go through heartbreak. But then like how do we recover from that heartbreak? And I think that's part of the like recovery from the heartbreak is all right. So here's how I'm going to start dating. I'm going to get this or you get that and then it becomes transactional rather than a real like effective relationship.
And I think that tends to happen when people don't have a moment to kind of regroup after relationships or even
Right.
dating for that matter.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
think
Mhm.
it's very important, and
Mhm.
I stress this. Once
Yeah.
you get out of a relationship, and King said, because this is my process. If I'm in a relationship and it does not pan out, I take a long extended break to say,
Same.
hey, how did I play a role in the demise of this relationship? Everyone wants to play victim, but it's certain things that you need to learn about yourself so you can grow and you do not bring that baggage to the next.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep. And
So
you can't learn without somebody else. Like I learned because I was with you.
right. And then I'm an advocate for therapy, right? You know, you love your friends, you love your, cousins, anybody who you have to say, "Oh, I want to talk about this." But that's a lot. You need to talk to someone who is a trained professional to kind of help you work through some of those things. I know that's kind of taboo in the Black community, but
Yes, it
again,
is.
even if you don't feel like you need to talk to someone. I kid you not. It is very refreshing. So I'm an advocate for journaling, therapy, and then just taking a break to kind of figure out yourself before jumping into another relationship.
I want to say I want to speak to is it Tarika
Mhm.
of her comment like I think that we do have expectations. Like the reality is we do. And I think it's just acknowledging what are my expectations at this
Mm-hmm.
day and age, right? From what I've learned and all the knowledge that I have today, what are my expectations? And then just being real, like you said, unspoken expectations. Let's speak about them because I gotta be self-aware first to know what is it that I even want right now, right? And then move forward and say, okay, this is where I'm at right now. I might want to get married again. I might not, but I would like to have the option. And and that's who I'm looking for. Is it okay if we continue this conversation? And that's my expectation. My expectation is I may want to do this again, but I also may not. So are you okay with that? And that way you don't have to get hurt because we're talking about it. We're having an ongoing discussion about it. If it changes, that's my responsibility to come and say, hey, I've been thinking like more about marriage lately. Let's talk about it. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. And I think we have to have those honest conversations in order to not waste other people's time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to piggyback off of something that y'all said. So earlier this year, King and I did an episode and we talked about broke dating. And
Yeah.
the issue with the broke dating, we were talking about money, about how you shouldn't date someone if you are not financially stable to date, right? But Kendra
Mm,
said something that made me think about broke dating in a different capacity. When we are emotionally broken and we still trying to get out here in these dating streets, it is
right.
Oh, it's tragic.
it is exactly that's it.
Very.
It's
It's a
tragic.
mess. It's a
It is
mess.
the
A whole
equivalent of trying to
mess.
get out in these dating streets when your ends ain't right. When your money is funny and you trying to get out in these dating streets, that's the same thing when we are emotionally broken and we are trying to get out in these dating streets. It's going to yield the same bad result.
I have a
Facts.
question for both of the ladies here on the panel. This is a pure hypothetical. Let's say financially y'all are squared away. Uh, yet you meet a man and that man comes in and he's honest with you, you're attracted to that man, yet he's coming off from a bottom and he's trying to dig himself out of it. He's aware of it, he's taking accountability for it, yet he doesn't have the finances to go out himself. Like he'll have gas to travel, but if you're talking about going out to eat, that's not a thing. But hey, he can get a meal and cook for you, and he lets you know that. He's not able to take trips with you, not where he's at now, but he's working towards building his net worth back up into a positive light. I'm gonna start with Kendra, and then I'm gonna ask Ariel. Kendra, could you give that man a chance?
I can, but people don't believe me when I say that. Like I feel like in life
Really?
there's like those ebbs and flows. And sometimes you reach it to where it's like, oh my God, I'm at the height, and then you kind of pivot down. And as long I kid you not, as long as someone is not lazy, where they still have the tenacity to keep going, keep pushing, I'm telling you, we can churn this thing and make it great. But you have to have like this self-awareness, which one you stated he will have, and then this confidence to know, even though I'm here now, I do not intend to stay there. So to answer that, I have no problem as long as he has a plan and he's following that plan to better himself.
Mm.
All right. So Ariel, same question.
Okay, I got questions, right? Because I'm gonna have questions. I'm gonna have questions because you and I are meeting, and there's an attraction there, and I learned about your bottom. And again, do we have a plan? That would be one of my questions, right? Because I'm
Okay.
a, like, if we're gonna date, I'm gonna be all up in your business. I need to know what's happening with you. Are you healed? Why did you decide to date right now when you just came off of a bottom? And if the answers flow, like, yeah, this is what happened, and it's very honest and authentic, I can get with that. I can say, okay, well, I'm not with you for your money regardless. Now, is it nice to get a flower here and there? You can go to the grocery store and get me flowers. I don't care. That's gonna still make me happy. You can spend $5 and I'm gonna be like, oh, you thought about me? So it's not about the money, but it's about the bigger picture. Where do you see yourself going from that bottom? Because I've been at bottom too. And I've had to go back and sleep on my mother's couch and say, all right, mom, I'm gonna be here for like a month and I'm gonna get it together after my divorce. But I wasn't dating in that time, so that's what my question would be, was what made you want to date? And so if that answer is legit, then okay, I could probably understand and we can move forward. But if it's like I'm bored, or it's just something to do, or I don't know what the answer would be, but it would have to be a good answer in order for, because why are you not working on yourself full time? Why not take a pause while you're coming up out of that bottom? So it really depends for me what the responses for those questions are, in order for me to be like, oh yeah, sure.
Okay. We're over time a bit, and we're gonna wrap up the show. I think what everybody brought to this today was fantastic, as everybody's had their own insights from what they're seeing out here in the field, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we're gonna close this out by asking everybody a question. I'm gonna let Michelle bring this out. She's gonna start with Ariel, then Steven, and then end with Kendra and close out the show. Sound good?
Mhm.
All right.
So my question for you, Ariel,
Go ahead.
what are you looking for?
Ooh, what are
Like,
you?
who is
Ooh.
this guy?
Ooh.
Well, you know what? That's the better question. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give Stephen and Kendra a heads up, because it's the same question for each of you.
Oh
Who
dang, I gotta
is
go first.
this person? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You were the first one to call it. So who is this
Funny.
person? So for Kendra and for you, Ariel, who is this guy? Tell me about this guy. Like, I'm not saying we're manifesting.
Hmm.
I'm saying we are speaking things into existence, and we are speaking things
Hmm.
as we desire them to be. So who is this guy? And then for you, Stephen, who is this woman? Like, tell us about this person. Go ahead and tell us.
Okay. So And initially, when you asked like what do I want to be loved correctly. I
Ooh,
do.
okay.
Sorry, my dog is over here acting up. I want to be loved correctly, and when I say that, he has to be understanding. He has to have the trait of empathy, because I have been through so much loss. I need you to know that I'm going to have a hard day here and there. And I need you to understand that, especially child loss never goes away. Every birthday, every death
Mm.
date, every milestone, like it's a process. So I need you to be able to work with me in that process and say, dang, I see that you're having a rough day. You need me to take care of something. I got you. I need an I got you type of man that's gonna step up. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like I got you financially, but it could be I see that you worked all day and you're exhausted. I made dinner. Like those are the type of things that I'm looking for. Somebody that wants to build something incredible and be my best friend so we can laugh and have fun. And when we do have conflict, I'm not afraid that you're gonna just leave. I know that you're just gonna say, hey, let me take a break because it's not productive right now. I'll be back. That reassurance, I'll be back. I just need a break from you right now because we're in conflict. But when I come back, we'll try again. Like I need somebody that's really gonna get in the ring with me, not physically, but the mental ring, and say, all right, we're going to our corners right now, but we'll be back. We're gonna take care of it. I want that. That safety. That's what I want.
Okay. All right. I love it. So we're going to hear from Stephen and then Kendra. And then I have a homework assignment because I'm a teacher and this is what I do for
Why
a
you giving
living.
homework assignments? They
Because I am a
grown.
teacher. This is what I do. Oh, this is what I do.
We
So,
got homework.
Stephen,
Okay.
your question. Same question. Tell us about this woman.
Yeah. And King, we signed up for this when we said yes, we joined. So we got homework, bro. That's all right.
There you go.
um. So first, I just wanted to, because I had like a physical reaction to what Ariel said when she said about child loss. I don't know anything about that, but I do
Mm.
have two kids. I hope they're in the house right now. It was outside playing, but I that is a nightmare. Like
Hmm.
I physically could not imagine. God forbid if something like that. Like I know I would have a physical and mental breakdown. Like that is I just so my
Oh,
heart
it
goes out
happens.
to you. I can imagine. I can imagine. So I hope that's something that you're able to
Thank you.
continue to work through because phew. Um,
Thank you.
who's this woman? So I would have to say first and foremost, it's gonna have to be a woman that is gonna remember that I am a human being. Okay, number one, meaning we all do things that, and I'm not. So when I say make mistakes, I'm not doing something about cheating or stuff like that. But there's going to be things that you're going to be upset with me about, and that's okay because it's also going to be vice versa. But the aspect of holding that against me is just something that because that I'm sure everybody's experienced it. I don't have time for that. I just, like stuff happens. And also too somebody that's going to match my ambition. So, like I said earlier, I have I think very highly of myself in the aspect that I think that I can achieve great things. Because why not? I was saying, if you don't believe in yourself, why should anybody else? You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that go get it mentality and be willing to support me when sometimes maybe I'm feeling like, you know what? I don't know if I got it. Like, and she has to be like, yes, you do, because I've seen that in you. I know you can. So yeah, it's hard right now, but we got to press on, and vice versa, being able to give that um, that support back when my time comes to be that person. And then lastly, somebody just wants to have a good time. Like I like to have fun. I like to be goofy. Um, I like to travel. I don't like sitting inside the house. However, I will sit inside the house and I will watch anime and I will play the PS5. Yes, I'm grown, but I like to do childish stuff sometimes too. There's no shame about it.
You gotta
And I would say
play.
it's listen. I was watching anime before it was cool. You know what I mean? But also, and I'm also the type of guy that I've said this, I think, to you before, King. One of my goals next is to get a house. And hopefully there will be a woman there that can share that with me. And I'm the type of person, you can have 90% of the house. That one room, that's mine, don't touch that. Leave that alone. I do everything else, keep the garage clean, take care of the outside. If one day you wake up and say, oh, you know what, we need to redo the kitchen, I might be like, huh? What's wrong with the kitchen? But I'm like, all right, that's fine. You want to redo this? Cool, because I just, life is hard enough. I don't want to be my significant other, be the person that I have to, bump heads with as well. So ultimately, I said all that to say it's just more or less, just want a partner, somebody that is going to support me through thick and thin the same way I'm going to give that same support back to her.
Man, let me highlight something that you said, because for me, that's a thing too. I don't want to come home to an adversarial person, right?
Right.
Right.
That's not a peaceful home, and I can't imagine anybody that would desire that. And if they do desire that, yikes! All right, so
some people are just confrontational, though. Like some people just they're always on go, just all the time. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to sit down.
You need peace in your own home, at least.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Kendra, you are in the hot seat, and then we are going to close out the show. And
with the homework assignment that I have.
Prior, I know that I'm gonna pivot back to Ariel real quick. Ariel has to go here.
Yes.
But is there? Do you have anything that you would like to promote? Your business maybe, or any way that if anybody wants to reach out to you, they can. And how do they do that? Only if you want to. You certainly don't have to.
Okay. I was going to stay to hear what Kendra had to say.
Okay. Well,
my bad.
Come on, go back.
Boom. So I would definitely say I am looking for someone who can understand all facets of me. And I've realized that I have only been able to show like 50%. And that means I haven't genuinely found someone that I feel comfortable opening myself fully to. So just having someone who is genuinely concerned about the small things as well as large things, and who can lead. I am not the leader. I am a follower when I'm in relationships. However, we can bounce off of each other's strengths and weaknesses. But most of all, I desire a man who can lead. And also, our home is each other. So wherever I am, wherever he is, we're home. And I know that's out there. And again, if we're far away, if we're near, if we're traveling, if we're staying home, we're content. You have that peace, you have that joy, you have a foundation where you're friends. So regardless of whatever transpired, you know that this is your person because you have that base foundation. And I want somebody that I can laugh with, that I can cry with, that doesn't mind me watching the Titanic 100 times over.
Because
he was like, okay, babe, put it on, and he'll just go to sleep, and that's fine. And I'm going to be like, Jack, I'll play scenes to him. He'll be for it.
So that's like a 4-hour movie.
No, I don't even know if you guys know this, but what is it, Amistad? I can never get through that movie, but I'm like, let's watch it. I just I'm so much so into movies and just having that partner to just do life with. Regardless of the ups and downs, I just need a solid person who sees me as a person and not this trophy or, this superficial being, because I have feelings, I have things that I want to do with my person for us to grow and just be the best versions of ourselves together. So that will be my ideal partner.
Ooh, I love it. So I love it. Can you put us like the 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom.
So here's your homework, y'all, right? Because educator M.E, here's your homework. Yeah, look, he wrote a pen, okay? Because it's funny that you did that, because that's kind of what the homework is. So the homework assignment that I have for y'all, I am asking you all to write a letter to that person that you just told us about. I want you to bear it all. Tell them all about your life, everything you've been through, and do this as a type of release so that you can release the relationships of the past. One of our Let's Get Deep questions today said, what are you glad that's now in the past? Tell that to that person that you just told us about. Let them know how much you love them, even though you don't know them. Like, I wrote letters to my husband, and I've never been married, but like, I wrote things telling him exactly who I am, what I've been through. And I challenge y'all to be able to do that today. Not like right this minute, but like, over the course of, before the end of the month. Fair. Write this letter to
By the end of
that
April
person.
month?
That's like
Yes,
one day
that's
from
tomorrow.
now.
Yes, I wrote that.
Okay.
I know, but it sounded fancier when I said the end of the month.
Okay.
All right, by the end of the week, I'm gonna give grace. By the end of the week, write this letter to this person, and then put it in an envelope, mail it to yourself, and hold on to it so that when you do meet this person, you can give it to them and tell them all the things that you released before you were even able to get to them. So I don't know what you all believe spiritually or anything like that, but I do believe that there has to be a release before we can get to that next person. Before we can move on, before we can get to that next, we have to let go of what's been behind. So I challenge you all to write this letter to that person that you just told us about, releasing everything that came before them, and seal it at the end with something along the lines, I release all of that and I am ready to receive you. Okay?
That's
You want
That
to hear
is the
something
homework.
crazy?
What?
I've done that.
Oh, for me?
No, that was
Okay.
Where the letter at?
what you just described was an exercise that I did in therapy, and I burned it. Like, I did it, I spoke it. It definitely was a great exercise to do in just seeing some things and letting it go. And that's what helped me got to the point to where I can be in a healthy relationship now. So what you said, I've done that before, but you can't ever read it because I burned it well before I met you.
See, Jesus be that one. All right, I'm gonna let King close it out. Thank y'all so much for joining.
Thank
It was a
you.
blast to be here with you all. King.
All right, so I'm going to start with Ariel. Like I said, if you have
Thank you.
anything to promote or where people can reach out to you for your business, you can use this as an opportunity, not to put you on the spot. You certainly don't have to, but if you want to, you have the floor.
Sure. So my website is Ariel, ARIELLEN Jordan.com. And I do mental wellness workshops for companies, for organizations, and I bring them mental wellness tools. My private practice is Mindset Quality LLC.com. I'm currently not taking therapy clients, but I do have a waiting list. And I can also hook you up with a therapist in my network. I know therapists all over the US. So if I can't help you, somebody can. Um, and my Instagram, Ariel and Jordan, my business Instagram, Mindset Quality, same thing on TikTok, Mindset Quality. So that's what I would like to offer. And that's how you can find me on social media. Oh, LinkedIn too. I'm on there too. Same thing, Ariel Jordan.
Rock on. Awesome. All right. Hey, Ariel, I know you have somewhere to get to, so I'm going to das boot you right now, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right, Steven, same thing to you, man. If you have anything that you want to promote or talk about as kind of last words, you have the floor.
I don't have any businesses or anything like that. I'm sorry. I think can we talk about? I think I'm going to start getting into the whole photography scene. I love capturing moments. I love capturing people in their own element. It's a beautiful thing. Social media. I'm on Instagram and TikTok. Instagram is Steven.Walker_91, and there's a link to TikTok right in there. Facebook has too much foolishness going on. I just I don't even fool with it. But as far as just to close out, I just want to, just a word of encouragement, just to everybody that's on the panel and everybody that's watching. Love yourself, love who you are, enjoy yourself. That's something that I'm really starting to work on. Just being okay with who I am, in spite of anything that may have happened in the past, in spite of anything that somebody may have done to me. Because at the end of the day, it really is about being the best version of yourself. And if you can find that and become that person, it makes life just so much easier. So like I said, take care of yourselves, y'all. Health is wealth. I'm on that trip too, King. I appreciate you. I saw your TikTok about touching grass every day. Man, I'm outside all the time. I walk
Yes.
almost 2 miles today on my lunch break. It's usually like a mile, but Lord knows I gotta lose some of this weight. After football and everything else, my body hurts, so I gotta take better care of it. So, yeah, just love yourself, take care of yourself, man, and everything else will fall into place.
Rock on. Awesome. Well, hey, Steven, man, thanks for taking the time to join us. And I'm
Hey,
going
I
to give you the
appreciate
same
y'all.
Das Boot treatment as well. Das Boot.
I'll see y'all later. Be safe.
All
You
right,
too.
pimp. All right. And now to last but not least, Kendra, the lady who I'm going to have brunch with here this upcoming Saturday before I head out to Philadelphia.
So it won't let me show Steven's IG because I'm not under our account. Can you post his Instagram info?
Do you have it?
I think it was Steven97 on IG.
I'll look for it while Kendra talk. Kendra.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
You have the floor. Do you have any last words? Anything that you want to promote before we close out the show?
Absolutely. So I want to promote Wileen Living. So if you guys have not checked that out before, please do so. Also, cocustravel.com. That is our travel consulting company. And we can help you with your travel needs as well as entertainment needs. So please, if you're looking to travel, international, states, private jet, whatever tickles your fancies, we can definitely help you with that. So also lastly, my book is still, in development. That will be out next month. So I am definitely going to keep you in the loop regarding financial management and wellness. So once it is finalized, I will definitely give you guys a copy. And that is it. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate you both.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for coming up, and I'll send you the details and the time of the brunch here. We'll trying to finalize that by Thursday. Does that work?
Okay, sure. Yeah, just as long as it's before. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be before a certain time on mine as well, because after we're done, I'm headed to Philadelphia for the weekend.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
All right. Thanks, Kendra.
Bye.
Bye. I love that.
Wow,
that was such a good
that worked out really good.
Yeah.
So it was one of the first times that we've done this in this capacity, technically, and just in this style. And I thought it was dope.
Me too.
I started kind of, I ain't gonna say I had a little mini rant.
You
but
did.
because I know each one of them personally, they showed up authentic.
Yeah.
They showed up being honest, and they showed up open, and that's what I want to see. I'm tired of fakeness. It's not getting to me for real, because I try not to let outside stuff really affect me like that. But I'm tired. I don't waste time. I don't spend time. I don't give time and energy to fake stuff. I just don't.
And I appreciate that about you.
Outside of the performance stuff, right? Because I've done stand-up comedy and improv, but that's designed to be a performance. I don't want my life to be a performance. That's too much energy. I want to come to you and say, Michelle, this is me. This is me. Train's going this way, Michelle.
Oh, goodness, here we go. That train.
But something that both of the ladies said that I admire is they said that they want their men to have a plan. Right? And to that notion, when I say train's going this way, that's me saying that I have a plan. Not that it's King's way and that's it, but it's that, hey, I do have a vision, I do have a plan, and I try my best to communicate that with you.
Yeah.
And if I'm not, you have open reign to say, hey, King, there's something that I'd like to know a little bit more about. Can we have a conversation about XYZ? Absolutely. The point that you and I can't have a conversation about something is the point that the relationship's in jeopardy.
Yeah.
And it is my desire that we never get there and that we have those open lanes, right? Something that Steven said, and I think Ariel said it as well. There's going to be conflict. We had conflict today a little bit.
A little static.
A little bit of static, right? But we were present for each other.
Mm-hmm.
We communicated through it, and got to a point that both you and I believe at least had an understanding about how to work through that static. I am not a subscriber that relationships have to be hard. I think that people make it hard.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've worked on the things yourself, you worked on your communication skills, then you have the tools. But it's two people needing to be in that kind of space. You shouldn't be insulted if I were to say to you, babe, I don't understand what's going on with you. I think that what's happening is something that I can't help with. You should see a therapist. Not in an insulting way, but it's me saying, I don't have the tools to help you get through this, and being okay with saying that.
And I don't think the other person should take that offensively because, for example, if something were physically wrong with me and I were going through something, you wouldn't be like, nah, babe, I can do this. Like, I can stitch you up.
Yeah,
like, we wouldn't say that to one another.
Let me rub some of this Jamaican rum on it to heal it out.
We wouldn't say that to each other. We would recommend that you get medical treatment. So why is it so wrong to say, babe, I can't help you with this emotional thing that you're going through.
Mhm.
So I believe that you should go and get a level of, mental support. So I agree with you.
I like this. This was dope. Tarika said that she would like to call on next week. Tarika, what we would like to do is on the last Monday of the month, have that be the call-in show.
Except
next month we can't do that.
We're going to be traveling. So if you want to do it next week, we could. That's fine.
You know what? Let's do it. Because our May is going to be jam-packed.
Oh.
So to talk about that real quick before I das boot you, we're going to be doing some traveling. There's going to be some events that we're going to.
Trips.
So there's going to be a couple of pre-recorded episodes that Michelle and I do for the month of May. And I just called you by your whole name. How you feel about that?
I'm not comfortable. Like, I don't feel comfortable. But I do see that one of my sorors is watching. Hey, sis. So I'm so glad you tuned in. Thank you so much for popping in. We are about to sign off, so you got to make sure you catch that replay because we had a good show tonight. And while I do know that you are happily married, shout out to you and your husband and your kids. It's still like a great show for you to be able to share with anyone that you may know who is out in this dating market. I still hold on to what one of my line sisters said when we were together last week, that she is married and she finna stay married because she done seen this dating pool, and the dating pool is shallow and murky water. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I guess we're gonna have a call-in show next week.
Why not?
Definitely get Tarika up on here so that we can talk to her. Groovy, we got busy weeks because King is out here touching grass and I'm out here trying not to get killed by the grass because I'm allergic to it. So, we just out here living our best lives. So we thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to see you again next week.
You covered everything. That was a fantastic way to wrap us up. Again, thanks for tuning in. It is my desire to have you come to me.
Oh, hold on.
So,
let me put some cell phones down and get my life situated. See if that hip gonna pop out just a little bit. Oh,
so we
gotta
end
stretch.
end our show
Get
with a
some
kiss.
stretches in.
We've kept this streak going,
all right,
and ain't nothing
Okay.
changing.
Mwah.
I love it. I love you and thank you.
I love you.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Peace. Oh. Now there's the button.